Hey everybody, and welcome back to the I'm Dying for Your Virginity Virgin Podcast. That's right, I'm your captain on the measly virgin crew here. Simian Jimmy's Treehouse, joined as always by Egg White on YouTube.
That's right, otherwise known as Mr. Yoshida himself. That's right, I'm gonna get mine. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is.
Yoshida, that was the character who tried to help a bullied girl and then got bullied himself and then decided he's gonna attack her with like a 2x4.
Hey, now, I'm not saying that like this whole vengeance angle is right. All I'm saying is, what did she do to provoke these innocent bullies to begin with? And maybe we didn't really get an explanation in this volume to these ends, but maybe there was something along those lines. He was like, hey, in the battle of ideas, the bullies are making some good points, and let's go start bullying this innocent girl.
Hey, for those of you who are saying, what the fuck are these guys talking about, you might recall a few months ago, we had a podcast called I'm Dying for Your Virginity, where a gentleman in the fan base named Zebazian, I don't think it's Sebastian, because there's no T or nothing, I think it's Zebazian, he paid us to review Volume 1 of this manga, I'm Dying for Your Virginity, or whatever the fuck, and now a few months later, I guess, paycheck came in, something. He has the money for Volume 2 out of, I think, 7. I think there are 7 total. So will we, over the course of 2 years, review this whole series? I don't know, but we are here today to review Volume 2, Aggie. And you did say, I'm gonna put you on blast here. You did say you might reread Volume 1 so that you can recap it to the audience. So I would love the recap. Because it turns out I was not going to listen to our podcast for a recap because who wants to listen to us two talk for 45 minutes? I mean, that'd be a nightmare. But also, this is so unknown that there is no, volume summary of it online. So, ChatGPT's like, I've never even heard of that shit. Good luck. So, I basically recall most of the plot details of it, and Toru, our main character's insecurities, and how he might be a bit of a shallow individual, and how throughout this series of time traveling back and forth between teenage and adult life he might grow as a character, and from arc to arc evidently regress in an Usopp-like fashion, as we will see today. But Aggie, what the hell was the plot of Volume 1 for those who don't remember?
Well, the gist of it is Toru, he's a great guy, he's a accomplished office worker of a large stature, balding, and looks just like all of us in real life. But
did you really reread all of Volume 1 again for this?
I did, yeah.
Oh wow, okay. But he's a dedicated man.
The summary, it's it'll go. It won't take too long here. So
take your time, Egg. Yeah, people need to know what's up because there's a lot of the whole thing is very plotty and very character driven.
That's right. So, basically, he's got the love of his life, Mika. She's the woman that he's had his eye on back since the high school days, and that's a very strong, thing about this series, very back and forth with the high school days. But he finally got her. He was after her his whole life. The relationship is truly beautiful. However, well, she has a reputation a little bit. Basically they said, she got around back in the day, and now she's settled down with Toru. He looks at himself in the mirror and says, well, I do weigh 300 pounds. I am 6 times her body mass in my weight. He kind of looks like Hank Hill that got inflated by a balloon as far as his body composition. So
if Hank Hill and the Whale from hit Brendan Fraser movie The Whale did a Saiyan fusion of some kind, they would form this character.
That's right. So it just eats him up. He's just feels like it's the fact that he wasn't the first man to be with her. He's just never could measure up to these men from her past, and he feels.
And I'm sure you and I on that episode had some deep philosophical discussions of, should we be jealous if our girlfriend has fucked 100 guys before us? I'm sure we had some good feminist takes about all of that I didn't want to go back and listen to myself.
Yes, as I do recall, you were like, hey, you know what? Insecurity is not attractive, folks. It's all about confidence and just being yourself. And you two could be somebody that's the same body mass index as me and Toru and still get the girl.
Who cares if I go down and all that's left is like a cave this wide on her from, Chad in college? Hey, she chose me now, and that's all that matters, folks. Who cares if she can't feel anything because it's permanently trapped like this from Tyrone? We've all been there.
The reason why I feel like I don't need to get into extreme specifics here is because essentially, forgive me, I actually forget how his first death comes along. I feel like he slips.
And you're the one who reread it.
Yeah. Well, the thing is I mean, even in the first volume, I think we get more possibly deaths in the first volume, I think by a little bit maybe than this one. But it's an isekai series, and basically Toru, through dying, he goes back to his younger years. He's back in these high school years with his full adult mind, and he is able to start contemplating, what series of events he could possibly try and put together in order for him to be with his waifu and to be, where they're both virgins together. It's quite called, it translates to "I would die to have your first time," or "dying for your virginity." If you Google that, it'll come up. But so, I mean, quite literally, he is dying in order to go into this isekai state where he's able to be back in his high school years. And then he's also then dying in the high school years. And then he comes back to a new future that is generated based on what he is doing when he's in this younger high school state. So the first time around, he dies, and he comes back. He's got a whole other wife that's one of his actual wife's friends from high school, and he doesn't know how this happened. Oh, it's so bad, he's got to kill himself. Then he comes back, and he ends up going for the track team as a manager, because obviously the way that his body is, he's not a track superstar, but he's basically playing school politics. I believe he ends up transferring schools in order to position himself in the most advantageous place to make all of his dreams come true. But he pretty much is just dying, going back and forth, trying to instigate the proper, I think, butterfly effect. I'm not. Is that like a
sure? Yeah, time travel shenanigans. Right. Yeah,
he's trying to get it set up right. And our last thing that we saw, because he basically just goes back and forth. There's some, like I said, kind of high school politicking. He's trying to work social dynamics among everybody to get his desired result. And what we had ended on in Volume 1 was that he had come back to what he thought was the perfect future. He was there with his wife. He's like, oh, I just had this future where I was with her friend. I didn't want that at all. I missed her so much, but thankfully I'm back with her. And then as soon as he comes back and he's like, oh, everything's back to normal, it's so good, she puts a divorce paper into his face and says, oh yeah, we're married until like next month, and then we're gonna be divorced here.
And isn't she like has huge scars on her thighs? She's like cutting herself and very depressed about the whole situation? Or is this a different timeline?
Well, this is where we ended at in the last volume. She gives him the divorce papers, and he's so confused, like, how could this have happened? There's no way, like, why would we have gotten divorced? Like, what went wrong? And she shows Toru a picture of him with a mystery woman. He's all like passed out, and this mystery woman with a mole on her face, not to be confused with the mole that Meek also has. This is a mole that the mystery girl
had. It's like down by her lip.
Yeah. She goes, oh, what? What do you mean? What happened? Look at this. And he starts freaking out. He's like, oh, this can't be. But then she runs into the bathroom with a huge butcher knife, which I don't know if this is the standard practice for self-harm. I've never really been there before. I just I don't have any bottles in front of me, but I have a different kind of self-harm that I go for. But she's taking this big old butcher knife and just basically slicing her legs up, and he starts freaking out. He kind of goes in and he's like, oh, stop this right now. But he's also already aware of the whole isekai situation, so he kind of like rushes her. It's not necessarily implied that he throws himself on the blade, but I think he probably could have avoided it. But he pretty much throws himself, like she's holding the knife out, he pretty much throws himself at it. And then that's where we come into at the start of Volume 2.
Well, does Volume 1 introduce the idea of this masked or this hooded figure who I think pushes him down some stairs and kills him? Does that happen in Volume 1? Because that mystery is elaborated on here in Volume 2.
Yeah, there's one of the, I should say, I guess, prior to the track team politicking, there is essentially an implied instance where his wife is raped. That's how she loses her virginity. There's like, if you're familiar with Japanese school animes, mangas, and everything, there's like roving gangs of teenagers. Like, yo, I'm from blah, 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 blah school. Yeah, and I'm over here on your turf. Like, does this really happen? I don't know, but it sure seems to be kind of a mainstay in Japanese school-based medias. So it's kind of like that. There's like some badass kids like, oh yeah, you know, she's pretty. I think I'm gonna take her to the bathroom. Yeah, and he's like, well, you know, bathroom. What do you mean? Well, yeah, he's taking her to the bathroom with his goons for a certified graping, I think is what YouTube monetizes these days. Grape juice session, and that's how it all goes down for her first time. Messes her mind up her whole life.
You would like to think the motivation would be, I don't want the girl I love to be raped, and not, oh, now she's not a virgin because of that bathroom raping. So, but again, Toru, he's learning what love is, and I think we get a little bit of character progression on that in this volume. So early on in his 7-volume story, which I can't even imagine how the fuck this stretches out for 5 more volumes, when really the only running plot thread is this hooded guy who keeps showing up to murder him in his future and his past. Yeah,
I mean, I feel like in volume 2 we get a whole other psychological angle. I mean, obviously there was a lot of groundwork, I think, laid in volume 1 that to build off of. And I think it really could have gone either way. It could have petered out right there, and then we're sticking on something that's just very linear in volume 2, but not really the case. We kind of get thrown for a loop with this mystery girl, and it kind of leads into the whole situation that encompasses these chapters. But yeah, I think the masked man, I think his only appearance in the first volume was for that particular moment where he does push Toru down the stairs, and I think otherwise it is very interpersonal dynamic centric. We also have Miyama, who is like also another guy on the track team, and he's trying to repair things with a girl who's not really in this. She's a little bit at the beginning of the volume, but a girl named Hayashi, who is Mika, that's the waifu in the situation, the woman who we're trying to re-virginize. Okay, there's a lot of names here. I had to write them down. Mm-hmm. But Mika's friend Hayashi, yeah, she's like very extroverted. She gets a lot of male attention and stuff, and so her basically being a bit of a loose woman is implied in the first volume, and it was like, oh, you know, she was a big part. You know, all this interpersonal stuff was a big part. It wasn't so much on this mystery man. Whereas in volume 2, we basically get Hayashi and Miyama out of the way, I think probably by the end of the first chapter of the volume. And then we're really just into the dynamics of our new mystery girl, Koike.
Well, on the note of his friend Miyama, who I thought kind of looked like Naruto, the way he's drawn, and how in volume 1, he's the guy at the track meet, or was it track meet, tennis meet, whatever the fucking sport is. Basically, our main character, Toru, he's going on all these little side missions to protect the virginity of the girl that he wants to be with. And one such side mission was, her friend who is now single because of this Naruto-looking guy, they broke up. Now she's trying to make Mika be a slut with her. I can't have that. So then the side mission becomes, okay, let's get Naruto-looking guy back together with his ex so that she's less motivating Mika to be a slut. And in that selfish effort, he learns humanity, and I did this for myself, but actually I had a positive impact on these people, and it's changing their lives in the long run. And he's like learning these lessons about like grace and forgiveness, and how changing people's destinies just through being nice to them when they're mean to you. And you know, I like all of that. It does get like forgotten about, because then we enter a Valentine's Day chocolate arc in the final few chapters, and he like completely reverts all the lessons he learned previously. But the good stuff here I thought was pretty good, and I can't wait to dive into it.
And I did, not to get ahead of ourselves here, but I kind of enjoyed the giving us a bit of a like I said, it's not so linear. It kind of, with having some of that regression towards the end of the volume, I feel like it still shows some true, honest, if you're going to be a man who's, like a 35-year-old virgin who finally gets your the girl of your dreams, and you're, have insecure. I like his fantasy about that he does. He like fantasizes himself actually taking her virginity, but his cock is so big that it's like it's a central point, and then he wakes up and he's like, oh.
Well, I think we'll get to that. We'll get to that, Aggie. Yeah. You might be a slight misinterpretation. I think his cock was as small as it is in real life, but in his dream, like, she would even think that was big. I think yeah. Which you know what? good for him, I guess. That in his fantasy, his cock is still small, but she just likes it that way. But so at the end of Volume 1, we enter what I'm going to call the Madoka arc, the mystery woman who, in the future, the reason why he's getting a divorce from his wife when he doesn't understand is because there's a photo of him lying naked with his eyes closed next to this mystery woman who's taking a selfie. He's like, what the fuck is going on? Now, he's evidently not conscious in this photo, but future Mika, she's probably mentally ill if her first thought is, I need to cut myself with a butcher knife. So she's not going to use logic or give him the reason or benefit of the doubt here when she sees this photo, and she's just going to serve the divorce papers. So he's back in time now because he gets stabbed while she's stabbing herself. And he's thinking, okay, to avoid that future, I just need to do whatever it takes to not be near whoever this mystery woman is. I've never met her before. I have no friends who look like that. So I guess just somehow avoid her forever. And that's the plan, so that I don't have to get this divorce. But it turns out, mystery girl is Mika, his waifu, Mika's childhood friend, who they got separated going to different middle schools, but they were together in elementary school, named, and I just said it a second ago, Madoka. And there's a whole tragic backstory. Oh, Madoka, she's a victim of bullying, and only Mika stood up for her. And I guess we can dive into that with this flashback, because you suggested maybe she had it coming. Why do you think this 7-year-old girl deserved to be so ruthlessly bullied by her peers?
All I'm saying is I don't think that I necessarily could say that there's any reason given in this volume, but I mean, I guess it's just maybe to do with how, we're going to say here, technically, this woman, Madoka or Koike, I think she gets referred to under both names, but Madoka.
Please say Madoka, because that's what all I wrote down. And it reminded me, that's exactly why it stuck out. Which I don't even know what that is. I heard Digibro talk about that, but name recognition.
It was a real banger 14 years ago. We'll talk about that another time. But so
$100 to SimianJimmyBusiness@gmail.com if you want us to review Madoka Magic. Eggie's on board, it sounds like.
It's I've probably haven't watched it in 13 years, but I don't have any bad memories of it. So the woman Madoka, she was bullied in a couple instances, and one of them was, Mika. She stood up for Madoka, and she, helped her get some confidence, some belief in herself. You gotta assert yourself a little bit. You just can't have these people walking all over you. If you give them some pushback, stand your ground, then it's gonna help you be able to defend yourself. You're not going to be such a soft target for these people. But then also at the same time, we have a particular gentleman.
Well, tragedy strikes because these two are separated in middle school, and now she's all alone again, getting bullied again. And when she reaches out to a random boy for help, it backfires on him. Evidently just because the bully victim girl asked this boy for help, suddenly he's the target and victim of bullying until graduation, or middle school graduation. This ruins his life completely, and he becomes like a hardcore internet incel about it, and he's posting threats specifically about her on social media, like that, like very edgy incel kind of shit from this guy, because his whole life was ruined by trying to be nice to a girl. And so she not only feels extremely guilty about ruining his life in effort to help her, but she also she's scared of his threats, but also kind of feels like she deserves what's coming. So like many times she's just walking up to this dude and saying, yeah, go ahead, beat the shit out of me with the 2x4. It's a very dark mindset for this woman, or this teen girl.
we get that explanation later on throughout the volume, but our first introduction to her at the beginning of the volume, basically Toru, he threw himself on the blade in the divorce arc timeline, died, came back, and he is not able to think in this high school state. He's not able to comprehend who this woman is, why did it go down like this. He's just really wrecking every part of his brain trying to contemplate. He's like, oh no, you know what I need to do? I need to just die again, go back to the divorce timeline again, and then I'll try to approach it more calmly to get some more information. Then I could die in the divorce timeline again and come back here again, and I'll have more information. So Toru, he is actually there's a lot of stairs in this series. Like, everything seems to kind of revolve around staircases. I wonder if there's a greater message here, but
well, like with One Piece, we talk about, did Zoro's childhood girlfriend fall down the stairs to die, or did she commit suicide? And the fact that Toru is committing suicide by jumping downstairs so many times, is it because he's 350 pounds and that is a good suicide method for him? Like a noose might snap, but his own weight's gonna break his fucking neck falling down these stairs?
It's a fair point. Yeah, I guess.
Are you terrified every time you have to go up more than 3 stairs? Like, this could be the end of Eggie. You're gonna crack like Humpty Dumpty.
That's why when we go to ledges and I'm scaling down it's a lot more scary than climbing up, because you're putting.
That's a good point.
Knocking the boulders out of the side of the hill every time you take a step. So it's.
Trusting some steps that Native Americans built in the side of a hill in like 1500.
It is what it is, State Park Tube. But yeah, so Toru, he's about to hurl himself to another death. Really, I mean, it's strategically planned. He's not just doing this out of he really thought it through, just like anybody would. Really contemplating this is the best way to get the information he needs to make everything right in the end. But as he's about to throw himself, then his waifu, she's down at the bottom of the stairs, and she sees him, and she's yelling up at him, and he thinks, oh, she's going to try to stop me. Let me do this real quick before, because I know better than she does. I need to do this for our sake at the end of the day. But she is not yelling at him necessarily to tell him to stop, more so as he's not noticing that to his side, Madoka, she is about to throw herself off the top of this
bridge,
off these stairs.
Yeah, it's like a bridge.
And, I thought my first instinct, and maybe this says a little bit of something about me, maybe I'm a little Yoshida pilled in a bad way, but just like
that's the incel guy,
just like him, just like Mr. Yoshida Cell. I better myself by the end of the volume. Well, Toru, he's able to tackle this girl down to save her after it's brought to his attention, and then he immediately notices, after saving her, that she bears a stark resemblance to the mystery woman. He's like, oh fuck. This is how I meet her. God damn it. But after the introduction here, we do get that explanation, as you mentioned, that they were friends in elementary school, and then they split up and everything like that. Just Madoka's appearance here at the beginning of the volume, her sort of droopy, dark circled eyes, glasses, kind of a little bit, her hair's a little frayed as far as like the outline goes. She has like a kind of what I would consider to be like a femcel sort of energy, like to her design at first. So I'm thinking, okay, femcel type chick, trying to throw herself off a bridge to break her legs or whatever. I was like, oh, and this is the girl who's taking pictures of him like while he's asleep and saying, oh, we're on some freaky infidelity stuff. I'm like, oh, this chick's got to be batshit. Like, oh, this is definitely some fucking, femcel, 4chan browsing type of female, that's why she's on some, that's probably why she was having these social problems or whatever. I was like, oh, it all makes sense. Egg on my face, no pun intended. I just don't think that we really ever did get in this volume necessarily any, this is my third time talking about this, but there really any reason why she's got this, this streak of bully attention that's sort of plagued her throughout these
I think
years.
I know why. I think it's because she wears glasses, and anybody who's like me knows. What is it? the valley where something looks a little human but not quite.
Uncanny Valley.
Uncanny Valley. You know, I think that's built into the DNA of humanity to fear things that are, you know, it's kind of look human but they're not. We could think of maybe a few groups of people who might fall into that, and one such one is people with glasses, like God or nature itself doesn't want you to be a normal human. Like you need to wear these bionics, like some sort of cyborg freak. You know, you don't belong, and I've always felt uncomfortable with them. And now I hear that there's this new trend where people are wearing like Google glasses that can record you, and it's supposed to have a light that blinks so that you know you're being recorded, but people can like drill through it so that there's no light. And the new trend is like people go up and just like start street interviewing people, and they don't know that they're being recorded. So I've been right from the beginning to fear those with glasses and to stay away from them and not talk to them, because now it's gonna be a problem in society. And maybe these Japanese children suspected the same, and rightfully
advanced. That's true.
Rightfully bullied this little girl and made her have this guilt complex where she wants to break her legs to help Yoshida feel better.
This is what Toru's problem was all along too. It wasn't his social awkwardness or like rejection of any social dynamics growing up, his obesity. No. It was all about
the glasses.
I mean, if you take them glasses off, he does have some beady eyes.
There's a reason why when you play King Cobra, you put on glasses to become more Boglum, less human.
I thought it was to be an enlightened magician, to be honest.
Perhaps both. Were you saying something?
Well, I was going to say, just on like a one quick note there as well, the pen cameras have been really good for the last amount of years too. There was a YouTuber named Charlie Bow who would walk around in the hood. He would do hood vlogs, and he would like pull up on gas stations with like 20 guys outside shooting dice and smoking weed like in front of the gas station. He'd have a pen cam in his shirt pocket, and it was like 1080p even back like 6 years ago. So, and there was just
it's no good.
I've seen a couple instances of that maybe in the last couple of years too. So folks, remain vigilant at all times. You never know when you might have perhaps a hooded man watching you through a bookcase, and you might be wearing Google glasses recording it.
And we'll get into him because I got some conspiracies about who this hooded figure is. But can we harken back to the days of surveillance cameraman? If we're gonna film people in the streets without their permission, you need to do it where they can see the camera, so that when you walk into like the group of Asian people having their secret meeting and they see you filming them, they get mad and start throwing shoes at you. If you just walk in wearing glasses, they're not gonna have any reason to get upset. They're not gonna know that their privacy is being invaded. And as a viewer, it's just gonna make me feel like a sicko, much like the person secretly recording somebody. You fucking freak. You fucking freak. Hold the camera up and be proud of it. If you hide it, just fucking neck yourself, you sick fucking freak. Anyway.
At the very least, do it like Franklin Hassel and say, oh, it's my diabetes pump, when you have a GoPro strapped to your face and blinking and obviously recording and saying GoPro on it, you know?
Yeah, that's okay. If it's extremely obvious, it's fine. If you're drilling a hole to hide the blinking light in your glasses that record, you don't belong in my society. Like, let's send you to fucking Afghanistan, or just to the bottom of the ocean like Osama bin Laden, where you belong. Goodbye.
Darn tootin'.
I don't know. I've never seen any of these videos. I heard about it. So if those guys see this and they can beat me up, I'm sorry. But I think you should kill yourself and stop breathing.
I think used to say that surveillance cameraman, not to make
he was a hero. He's still my hero.
Yeah, I think they said that he was... had like some connection to Andrew Ruse, who was like a filmmaker, so I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know Andrew, and he does good work.
Can you ask him? Does he know?
I think I saw that theory since I DM'd him. I think he's just been busy, but I've DM'd him a couple times, and he was all legit. But speaking of burdens that society needs to bear, just like people with Google glasses, Toru, when he's still in the timeline here, he hasn't died again yet since he saved Madoka's life. Finds out that she's had these problems, but turns out that, you know, Mika had tried to be in contact with Madoka to kind of help steady her in her the distance they have with each other. She's trying to be there, to be a rock, to be supportive, and she had been trying to get in contact with Madoka just prior to this attempted leaping off the bridge, and she was not able to. So she says to Toru, listen, you know what, for me, because she has transferred to your school, you got to do this for me, please. I need you to be there for Madoka if she needs anything, because I can't always be there and she's not answering my messages sometimes. So you got to. This is the woman that he was about to kill himself again to restart the cycle, just to figure out how to avoid her. And now he's being put in the position where you need to be in the maximum amount of contact with her as possible. So Toru is kind of wrangling with it. And he's basically,
he knows that it's a life-changing, future-altering decision he has to make. And I think this is part of what I was talking about earlier, where I think maybe the point of the series is he's learning the true meaning of love and what it means to truly actually love somebody. All the love he feels for this woman so far has been shallow. Oh, she's beautiful, but I'm ugly. That doesn't make sense. Oh, she's been with other men. It's all these shallow feelings of love. But now this concept of, I remember my future wife was uncomfortable talking about her high school past, and I never understood why. But now I know it's because her friend got beaten with a 2x4 by this guy. And I might be I might be jumping ahead a little bit, but it's all relevant to this little character growth here. But the idea of he's willing to take the risk of being near this woman, even though they might have this infidelity in the future, and that's what he's trying to avoid. But the fact that if he does this now, it will prevent his wife from having childhood trauma that she'll have to carry with her for the rest of her life. That's what love should be. Is that, I'm willing to make this sacrifice and this big risk for my future to change her life in such a good and positive way forever. And that even if I end up not with her because of this, it still made her life better. Like, I think that's a better understanding of love than anything he's done so far, which disappointed me when the Valentine's Day chocolate arc began, because wow, what a beautiful lesson to learn so early on, and now we kind of have to forget about it because he's fat.
Hey, I mean, he would have taken all he needed was the obligatory chocolate, just I mean, we've all been there before. Like,
hey, he got his fucking muffin or whatever the hell cookie. We'll get to that. Yeah. We'll get to that. But anything more about what we've been talking about with Madoka and Yoshida?
Well, just as you mentioned, so this is the reason why, he didn't have much to say about his high school years because he was so disconnected socially. He only minded his own business. He wasn't really trying to be friends with anybody or nothing like that. And she would kind of, not really say too much because she had this horrible thing happen with her best friend. So then after that, we get some context there that, it was after, she had gone to this junior high, this different one from Mika. She reached out to this boy, Yoshida, in order to, protect her during a particularly bad bullying attack. And then he had become the new target. And we get overall sort of an explanation there for, that was her original reason for wanting to leap, was that she would give herself just an injury, break her legs, I think, essentially. And then by having her legs broken, then she would have an excuse to be out of school for a certain amount of time and avoid his presence, since they would be schooling together. So quite a drastic thing, but that was my immediate thought. Damn, that's pretty serious. I guess maybe they must not have guidance counselors or something in Japanese middle schools to prevent this. But he's not even trying to hear that. We get this scene where it's Yoshida and they're once again, there's a lot that takes place just on a street somewhere. This is another one of those instances on a dark street, and he's not even trying to hear any of her forgiveness. Nothing could possibly make up for the suffering that he's had to endure for defending her one single time and becoming the new bully target. But anyway, this is existing, and this is what transpires in the original timeline where Mika doesn't want to talk about what happened in high school. And actually, Toru, he can just very vaguely recall that this is an instance that did happen, and it's something that stuck with him, at least enough of as a memory that he heard of it happening in high school, even though that still he was so socially disconnected that he didn't have anybody personally in his circle that was a part of this or affected by it, other than just the general student body, because it did also result in the expulsion of Mr. Yoshida and then just a suspension of.
The girl
Madoka.
got suspended for getting her ass whooped. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's.
So Toru wants to prevent this from happening to make Mika happy. So okay, got to stop this incel Yoshida from getting revenge on Madoka. So Toru goes up to Yoshida, all these fucking Japanese names. I know, folks. I'm sorry. He says, hey, can you stop posting threats on social media? I can't go to the teachers or the police, I guess, for some reason. I'm just going to ask the incel bully online. I'm going to ask him face to face, can you stop threatening this girl? And incel bully Yoshida says, just leave me alone. You'll see us gone sooner or later anyway. Which is like a vague incel threat. Like, I'm gonna shoot up the school and kill her and myself. So now Toru is like, oh fuck. Did I just make it even worse now that I pointed it out to him? So he might be accidentally causing, much like the movie Butterfly Effect in some ways, making everything much worse and causing a horrible shooting at the school. If I was writing it, perhaps the Yoshida school shooter plotline would have played out, but perhaps this author has more faith in humanity.
Well, and I just want to, as an aside here, I felt like, once again, how at the beginning of the volume I saw Madoka's character design, and it was very evocative of a certain character archetype for me. I feel like both her character design, I feel like Yoshida's character design is just like absolutely perfect for the kind of emotion. Like, he always has this very disaffected kind of like, he's got like low upper eyelids, and like his eyebrows are kind of like up in this like sort of just really like I don't give a fuck kind of fat. Like I'm already checked out. Like I'm already know what I'm gonna do. There's not gonna be any stopping me. I'm gonna make my public threats about it.
Got nothing left to lose.
Just I feel like the way that he's drawn really expresses this. Just even if you didn't say anything else, like you just show me him and don't tell me anything about his character or what he's thing to do. Like I feel like I could pick up some of that up off that. So I don't know if I
got that real Sasuke energy. Did you make it that far into Naruto to see Sasuke?
Hey, it's only been 8.5 months since I did volume 1, so I'm pretty much right up on volume 2 any one of these days now.
Eggy still thinks Konohamaru is a main character. Racked by guilt, Madoka goes up to Yoshida, says, hey, beat the shit out of me with the 2x4, or I guess, what do they call it? Cubed lumber? I don't know what the translation was. Yeah.
Squared timber, I guess it's supposed to be because the end is squared off because it's obviously a rectangle, but...
Well, she wants to be beaten, but homeboy Toru jumps in at the very last second, like I've seen in One Piece a million times from characters who can run at like near light speed. But big fat Toru, he's quick enough. He jumps in and gets hit by the what'd you say, squared timber?
Squared timber, yeah.
He gets hit by the squared timber. Shiver me timbers, folks. And then this makes him pass out, and then in the future. It's like a class reunion of all these characters, and even Yoshida, the incel, he shows up. Oh, Toru, you changed my life when you gave me that forgiveness after I hit you with the squared timber.
After I killed you, then I realized that actually that was lay bad, so now we're all happy ever after.
It's a beautiful lesson of forgiveness, okay? If the incel attacks you and you say it's okay, maybe he won't shoot up the school, Eggy. Did it work on you?
Well, I would say so. Yeah, I definitely. I don't know if I was 100% Yoshida pilled. As a youngster, I was more of the posts on social media that I was going to do things to myself, but obviously vague enough because even back then that was some beta male behavior. If you were out there and saying, "Oh, I'm really going to do it," then that would be hella lame, bruh. So
I think the lamest thing is just expecting anybody to care about. In general, like not just about wanting to hurt yourself, but like just posting anything personal, expecting anybody to care. That's kind of lame. Like saying I want to commit suicide is as lame as posting your breakfast.
I did only have 2 Facebook friends that were both like from like Half-Life Steam group, so nobody was really there to care anyway.
They said,
just
this guy has a half-life. He should have no life. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But
you know, I'm bigger and better than ever, and definitely especially bigger at the very least.
Getting paid to review the greatest virginity losing mangas out there.
Yeah. So speaking of this reunion, I'm not sure because of all the dynamics of everybody being involved here. Because we also have Hayashi, we have Hayashi, Mika, Madoka, Yoshida. Really, the majority of the characters that we've kind of had involved in the story for more than a few chapters so far. And do I take this to understand that he is with Mika here because he's got this is
the perfect happy ending in the future, but we'll get to that because before his happy ending is ruined, we get the answer to the mystery of why was this weird future photo of him and Madoka together, seemingly sleeping together. He would never cheat on Mika. What's going on? Well, she confesses to him, hey, yeah, you have a perfect life right now with Mika and you're both happy, but there is this weird stalker guy who has a hood, and for a long time I thought that you were the stalker guy even though you're married to her. So I was planning on taking a photo of us together and giving it to her to break you guys up, but now that I know you're a nice guy because you forgave the 2x4 man or something, and now I'm not gonna do that scheme, just so you know. And he's like, oh, so that's what happened. I was always a good guy the whole time, and my wife stabbed up her leg for nothing. It is what it is. And he's excited to go home. He's got Mika on the phone. Hey, I'm coming. Don't get killed by a hooded man anytime soon. I'm finally in the timeline I want to be in. I finally got the perfect future. What happens, Aggie?
Well, the hooded man, you might have caught a little bit of the foreshadowing there. He gets killed. Oh.
The hooded man gets killed? Oh, happy ending.
Toru gets killed. He gets brutally, straight up Mike Myers, basically. He's standing over him. He gives me some UK energy. They call it splash over there. Splash the Mundum with my swing, swing, swing. You know, that's like how they rap over there because they don't have guns. So definitely feels like I was, getting some definite UK energy off this. He's coming at him. It's almost, he's like, it's just, you get like this, like slash, just like hitting him like, but yeah, he gets killed again. Yeah,
he's going Elliot Rogers style. You got to stab your Asian roommate 146 times to make sure you get him. And Toru, he's a big fat fuck. It's probably hard for that 5-inch blade to find an organ. You know, he's trying to find something other than blubber.
He's got a lot of vitality because this is the second graphic stabbing that we have of him after the end of the first volume, where his wife, where he throws himself on the blade. And I don't know exactly what audience age-wise this series was meant. I guess it's supposed to be for like an older audience, maybe like a 17+ kind of deal.
Well, did you read the bonus chapter that explained the censorship? Because he says that it's supposed to be shonen. It started off as shonen, but now it's evolved into something else. But he's still not allowed to show sex or nipples. So there's a whole chapter in here that's like completely black bars and censored. Which I was curious, like, oh, is that just for this upload, or? And then the author addresses it. Hey, I didn't want to do this. The editors made me censor it. I wish you guys could have seen this hot, lusty teenage sex. Which, in the context of the scene happening, we'll get to it. I think it did not need to be in there at all. But anyway, Toru does get stabbed up to death right before he gets his perfect future with Mika. And Hooded Man picks up the phone that's still connected to Mika. And let's see, I wrote down what he said, but it was bone chilling. Bone chilling.
I'll just give you a little spoiler while you're scrolling there. If you might know the title of this series, then you might know what he says to the phone.
He says, "Long time no see, Mika. I would die to have your first time." Aggie, who the fuck is this? Like an alternate timeline Toru here? He's not fat.
I don't know, like the skull shape and like the outline that we're shown, maybe it's a little more defined. I guess maybe it's not supposed to be him. But I felt, and also we have, I think, a couple instances in the volume where there's like a split screen vertically panel where it's like half Toru's face and like half the masked man's face, where he's like concerned about who this masked man is. And I might get a little ahead of myself here, but I don't think too much. I think there's like one chapter after this prior to the chocolate saga. But I think I could definitely see some multiple timeline business going on here, based on something in particular that happens in that chocolate saga. So,
do you think that the masked man is also time traveling, or he just has the same clothes in the future and the past and just keeps killing these people?
I think there might be, maybe in the same vein of how we had this mystery woman explained to us in this volume, as we truly did not have any inclination who this could be. There might be something maybe in the first volume, if I want to really meticulously go over a panel, maybe like in one of the tennis club, and I did keep calling it track club, but I believe you're right, it actually was the tennis club, so my mistake on that. Tennis club scenes, I feel like there might have been something here, and I guess, to be fair, I guess there is just the chapter that's in between the death of the perfect timeline and then the chocolate chapter, I guess, is just the beginnings of his insecurity. This is like where we start to kind of see it. So maybe this insecurity could have started creeping in as a result of losing the perfect timeline to being murdered. Maybe that's kind of like a starting to put a couple of cracks into his confidence that he's been having as an adult man back in his school age years. I think that it kind of gives him a blow, but not to get too cherry picking out of the whole chocolate situation here that happens towards the end of this volume. But basically the gist of it is that Toru, he feels like him receiving these Valentine's Day chocolates for Mika must be a canon event in order to seal in his desired timeline of perfection. And so he is giving Mika a particular kind of candy that he knows that her adult self is very fond of. So he's trying to get her what he knows that she likes. He's got this edge on the competition. But he thinks he ends up seeing her give all these chocolates that she made that aren't very good to just like the whole tennis team. He's like, oh, I didn't get the special recognition. But she does end up singling him out to give him some much more delicious cookies that were separate from all the garbage that she gave everybody else. All that being said, there's a panel in this final chapter, I believe, where we see the masked man gripping a bag of this terrible, disgusting, bitter chocolate. So I'm thinking to myself, as I reach the end of the volume here, oh shit, is this like alternate timeline Toru cucking himself? Because maybe it's not, maybe it is just somebody, maybe it would.
Wouldn't the implication be that she gave these little goodie bags to every member of the track or the tennis team? So it's probably somebody on the tennis team.
Yeah, so I think maybe if I did go and really, I just don't know if that'd be too obvious though if they had a clue that in volume 1. I didn't notice it on my reread, to be honest. So it's not super obvious in any case.
Well, his friend who looks like Naruto, like he might have been there when the masked man first pushed Toru down the stairs, because there is a scene where they walk in on Naruto and his recently reacquired ex getting finger blasted. So, he's always in the vicinity of this masked man, and everybody on the tennis team got these little goodie bags. Masked man has a goodie bag. Maybe he went and killed a tennis team member to get it, but...
that's fair, I guess. To be honest, I did not consider that. But I think I'm getting gaslit, perhaps, just by, like I said, these panels that have like the split screen showing of half Toru, half masked man. And also, of course, his the little phone call clip that we have there following Toru being murdered again by him in the perfect timeline, where he's indicating to Mika on the phone that he would die for her first time. So it's just, it might be a little bit of a misleading situation going on, but we already know time travel's going on. We see a man who he's angry. He wants to have Mika for himself. He's being compared to Toru and some of these things. I feel like it certainly is a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the main conflict for me is man versus himself, with Toru being the main obstacle and antagonist of the story, just being his own attitudes that need to be fixed and changed to be a better man and to improve the lives of those around him by being a better man. So I guess by literally having it be man versus self, where like maybe him from the end of the series or like from the ultimate bad timeline is utilizing the time travel powers to like spoil it for the improving Toru. Like, no, the bad Toru should have her and you're becoming a better man. Fuck that. But why would he lose the weight? It'd be skinny now. I don't know.
Actually, that would be Kino if it's like he's like went on steroids and plastic surgery and like all this superficial Chad enhancements.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, because ultimately she should still love him for being a big fat fuck, because that's the whole point of the, not being shallow anymore, and true love is love and all that. So I get, Toru in the bad timeline would think, oh, this will make her like me if I get 8-pack abs, in Turkey, in a surgery and all that.
As I'm thinking about this, maybe also it could be maybe the hood is like a obfuscation. Maybe he went in for Chad surgery and it got botched or something, so he's looking like Two-Face out of Batman or some crazy thing. So he's like, oh, no, how could you be winning her over with improving yourself and your personality and being more confident? No, that's not what I know. I'm supposed to be Chad. And,
it would explain why he always knows where Toru is.
Right, and I think
it's pretty coincidental to go kill him right when he's going home.
When he defends Madoka from Yoshida's attack, he said, oh, it's a good thing that we went over through here before, so I knew exactly where to be here just in time to defend you. So maybe there's an alluding there to a little bit of a foreshadowing of what alternate timeline Toru, maybe it's kind of the same idea. They're both perceptive of those sorts of things.
Okay, we got our theories out. I need to talk about this graphic full chapter sex scene between teenage Toru and teenage his waifu, whose name Mika. And I guess he drew on the full titties and sex, but there's black bars covering every single panel, ruining whatever percolating image for a young man in Japan to enjoy. And I don't understand why you would throw this in volume 2. If the whole point of the series is, my goal is to lose my virginity with this girl and it'd be her first time too, or whatever the case may be, it's like if you showed Luffy become king of the pirates in volume 2, you show Naruto become Hokage in volume 2, in a dream sequence. He's having a wet dream. We see him wash the cum out of his underwear in the sink, which is fucking disgusting. Do you not have a washer? But anyway, why are you showing us the thing that should be the reward at the end of the series? The thing that we're building up to the whole time, the climax of the whole point, the goal of the main character. It should be a celebration. It should be in the final volume. Why are you spoiling what you're going to show? Just the full scene of them having sex with all the dialogue. This is what the fans would want to see at the end. And now it's been ruined here.
I think I have a debunk for this, but it might be incorrect of me to assume, just based on this colored panel that's in at the end of the chapter where he's it talks, kind of illustrates him communicating with the editor and about how he wanted to have the nudity and everything, and the editor wouldn't, and the editor's like, I want to see your nipple. So he's got his tongue flying out, it was very Bobobo energy for me personally. But I could also say this. You make a very good point. However, could this possibly also play into the whole thing that this is this lustful, carnal, physical thing that he dreams of, that even just thinking about it, it sort of is part of the triggering of his insecurity, is this physical and lust-based mental state part of what he is. This is like the last hurrah of this flowing through his brain, because it's the last hurrah of that insecure pang as he's going through that last hurdle. Maybe there's gonna be more hurdles, but it's something that he's overcoming to where he's getting more into the emotional, more into the personality, more into really the humanity of his wife, and even in his own humanity, something that he's neglected. He's been so, I'm gonna isolate myself from everybody, I'm just gonna put my head down and work at my wagey job, and whatever happens. So this is like, maybe that's kind of a way that I could interpret it, is that it's this graphic lustfulness that at the end of the day, this sex, it's something that is it's going to happen 10,000 more times in their relationship. This is just something that he's still been holding on to, along with some of his insecurities. So it's all kind of coming in bundled together, starting with this, and then throughout the Valentine's situation, and then kind of possibly, at least as far as this instance of it goes, we're getting a resolution then when he's, oh wait, this is the super special treat that she made me, and it's better than everybody else's. And not saying that him being validated by her treat should be the reason why he's able to kind of have a resolution to this temporary insecurity, but it is what it is. So it's a way that I could read it overall. It might just be the...
Well, if the arc of the character's leading to he gets over this and it's not a goal of his anymore, and he learns to love her in a much better way, then I guess if it's not actually leading to this in the story, you might as well show it to us in graphic detail early on. If we're not ever going to build to it, why not give the fans a little eye candy for whoever wants to see this big, ugly, fat fuck naked on top of a tiny little girl. Does he enjoy drawing that? Like, he's a whole chapter of this big fat fuck, like, in missionary position. It's no good. It's really no good.
It's representation, all right. Some of us out here have marginalized, person of size communities.
I've never read a manga, I guess, where like a fat guy, we get to see his entire wet dream, and then I get to see him clean the cum out of his boxers. I guess I've never seen that before, so on those grounds, it is Kino. And I think that might be everything in Volume 2 of I'm Dying for Your Virginity. Aggie, do you have any final thoughts or predictions in case we ever do Volume 3?
Well, it's going to be, a little bit of a cliffhanger for now, but I think basically, the gist of it, the way I was reading into it, I think we both kind of agree. I approached Volume 1 back when we did that first one. The subject matter was a little bit memeable to me, so I'm like, oh, it's kind of funny. You got this, fat, ugly, drawn man, like, obsessing over the men that his wife has had sex with, and how he needs to, like, time travel and do all this crazy shit for virginity. So, really on the surface level, it was something kind of silly and funny, but we really do get into the combating with these sorts of topics and feelings. I think it came out in 2016 or 2018 or something like that. So sort of in the midst of maybe the peak of incel conversation. I feel like it's kind of petered off maybe a little bit in recent years. It's not as much of a hot topic as it was, except for that one show in the UK that escapes me off the top of my head. But just something to, really get the noggin jogging. And then we have the time travel aspect of it as well. And I'm thinking that the hooded man, I feel like it's as plausible of a theory as any of this is. Chad, Surgery Max, Roid Max, Toru. I knew men just like that in my real life who went and flew to Turkey for the hair transplants. They flew to different countries to get jaw surgery, chin implants, steroids, muscle implants,
muscle
leg
implants
surgery.
You don't have to work for those anymore?
No, people who know muscles can tell they're implanted, but if you just never take your shirt off,
yeah.
And there you go.
What's the point if you don't take your shirt off to show them if they're not functional? Like, can they lift?
No, I don't think you get the strength aspect.
What the fuck?
Cosmetic thing.
These people are freaks. It's like people with glasses. I'm telling you, uncanny valley, non-human cyborg fucking freaks. Get them out of my society. Along with whatever other group of people I said needs to go. I was very hateful so far this episode. You get what you pay for, folks.
I'm happy that. Oh, one second.
Big cough from Big Eggy.
I'm liking the series still. Toru. Listen, I can relate to him being a fat man with some maybe mental hangups about certain things, maybe not successful in the social game, and he's finding his way through. He's maybe it needs these multiple timelines to find out, the emotional health that the average teenager might have. But once again, very relatable moment. I feel like I'm kind of right there with him, just really understanding his struggles and his ups and downs, and the fact that even surgery maxing, which alternate reality Toru, this could all just be total bullshit and absolutely not real whatsoever, but just based on what I've read the first couple volumes, I feel like it's got some feet to it. He went about it in a way that did not end up ultimately resolving his problems, and I feel like I'm just going to be really excited to read Volume 3, if it's for free, or whatever the case might be.
I'm going to hold out till he pays up, so it might never happen. You might have to let me know how this ends on your own, Aggie.
For the audience, just so you're aware, I did not read Volume 2 or anything else up until this point. I did go back to Volume 1 to catch back up, and I might be doing the same thing when Volume 3 comes around eventually. But I like this series, and I'm still recommending it. I think I did the first time, too. And for number 2, it's still true.
And if you want to force us to read a volume of manga or review a movie or really anything at all, SimianJimmyBusiness@gmail.com, folks. $100. Pitch your idea. Hey, anything you want to plug this week, Aggie? You got those Wendy's breakfast sandwich reviews up as shorts on your YouTube channel?
Well, no, this is something I've never plugged before, but this is just something to consider because the casinos are kind of dead right now. However, I still have been able to, I think I still pulled out probably $1,000 in the last week or so here, so I'm just going to give my method. Okay, it's American only, and a lot of states are banning it, but I'm just going to tell you how it is. B2 websites, McLuck, Hello Millions, Play Fame, Spin Blitz, Ace. These are online sweepstakes casinos where you can log in and get some daily money every day. And if you collect it, figure out how to put it all in like a hand of blackjack or whatever. Once you reach a $10 balance, you can put it into a DoorDash credit and you can add it to your DoorDash account. I just got like $120 worth of groceries delivered this morning for free. What'd you get? A case of Monster. This sweet tea that I put inside this Wendy's cup. It was not from Wendy's. It's from a container. I got multiple cans of corned beef hash because I've been craving that lately. I got some chips, some dips, some snacks, lunch meat, cheese, olive salad.
Oh yeah.
I'm making mafuleta. I think they're called.
Never even heard of that.
Sandwiches.
Mafuleta.
A bunch of like meat and it's like diced peppers and onions and olives and all this stuff soaked in oil, and it's like a spread, and you put it on top of like salami and like cheese and like all different kinds of meats and stuff on a big baguette. Basically.
Where the hell is Aggie Foods? Set up the tripod and show people how you make this crazy sandwich, Aggie. Come on. The people live to watch you make and eat food. You don't even have to try. You could just be yourself. Literally, the meme, be yourself. You just do that in front of a camera and people will be happy. You don't have to turn anything on. Like me, I'll sit there mute saying nothing for 40 hours a day until I'm in front of a camera. You could just be Aggie and they'll be happy.
That's fair, and I did just get informed of this sandwich just in the last couple days by a Louisianan person who I was talking to. I guess that's where like they started putting it together down there. It's like the ultimate Italian sandwich, basically. Shout out to Italy, but that's how they're doing it down in Louisiana. What else? I got? Oh yeah, laundry detergent because I needed some more of that. So I mean, and the thing about it is, I say all this. DoorDash also has a coupon, and I think I got another coupon, 50% off groceries. So I played a little bit of free slots on these casinos over a couple weeks, stacked up some of these DoorDash credits, put them on the account, went on DoorDash, 50% off all groceries, got $120 worth of groceries delivered to my front door for $0. So all I'm saying is the casino shit's about dead, but fuck it, you might as well get 1 week of groceries for free by doing it now if you can. So that's what I'll plug. You do have to give these internet casinos your ID and all that stuff, but yeah. I mean, I think it's definitely worth it at the end of the day, and that's just me.
Eggy is proof that it pays out. And if it was a gambling addiction problem, he wouldn't have the money to pay for his internet bill and he wouldn't be here. So clearly it must work. And that's enough for this episode. Peace, people!